Thank you all for coming down today. Of course, we've got the wonderful crew here from BDI, Mr. Chris Edwards and Troy Woods. How are we today, gentlemen? All right?
Very good. We're very good. We're tired.
Indeed. How's it all been going, eh?
We're very good. Yeah, we've
busy. Nice.
Yeah. We had a lot of promotional work to do, including this, obviously. But we had a lot of work on our plate, getting the new release out there, Stand Up. So yeah, it's been a busy time.
Fantastic. Well, what does BDI stand for? And tell us, how did the name come about?
Well, BDI, it stands for Bass Drum Inc. And it started back in the 90s, where there was myself, Heather Wildman from Strictly Rhythm, and Mark Whitehead. We were doing a lot of projects for people like Strictly and everything else, and we were doing a lot of work with Heather, especially. One day, Heather and myself, we were out. We'd have been out on the town, and with one of her ex-boyfriends. Anyway, we ended up back at this house, and he crashed out, and he had but one of his eyes was open. He was passed out, but one eye was open. So we were just saying like BDI, and I thought, what a great name for a group. And then to come out with the whole Bass Drum Incorporated, and that's how it got there. So it was really Heather Wildman and myself that had dreamt that one up on a night being smashed.
Yeah, well, I think usually the best sort of nights out usually bring the best in the moment.
Yeah.
If you could work with anyone in the industry, who would it be and why?
Go on, you can go first with that one.
I think for me it's always going to be Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They've probably been my biggest influence. I'd love to get in the studio with them and just see how they work. It'd be fantastic.
I'd probably like to hang out with Todd Terry for a few days, see how he puts his stuff together. That would be very interesting.
As a DJ, what made you become a vocalist, mate?
Let's just say it wasn't by design. Basically, Troy was working on a track. It was Promise, wasn't it?
Promise, yeah.
And he wanted someone to do background vocals.
Okay.
So
I sung the lead, and it was terrible. It was absolutely appalling. I can't sing.
So I volunteer to do backing vocals, and the next thing you know, basically I'm doing the lead. So yeah, totally accidental.
And you lost.
Exactly. Excellent. Is it something you enjoy?
Definitely. To be honest, I've always been like a closet vocalist anyway. Growing up in the 80s and listening to all the Luthers and the Michael Jacksons and what have you, you can't help but try to emulate that. So
yeah, this is the great thing about the whole thing as well, was the fact that although Chris at the time wasn't a singer, he was a DJ. But the great thing was, which is what we found when we were working on Promise, was that I could, because I'm a soul boy at heart as well, and I'm into the old Alexander O'Neill and the Luther Vandross kind of thing, it was great to be able to turn around to someone like Chris who knew all that stuff, and if I could say to Chris, just make that bit sound a little bit like Luther Vandross, and he'd immediately know what I'd want.
Yeah.
So it was really good to be able to work and bounce off each other like that, and have someone who knew I could say like Teddy Pendergrass. I want a bit of Teddy Pendergrass in this bit, and he could do it because he knew what I wanted. So it was just great to be able to have that, yeah, and that's why it worked so well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you find that the DJing also kind of helped in regards to knowing how to key mix and obviously producing music with the vocal? Did that help it sort of slot in?
Well, yeah. I mean, just exposure to fantastic music and vocalists. It's a big help. I sit in the shower all the time, so it's just good to step out of there and do a track or two.
Indeed. It's always refreshing to hear music which is instantly recognisable, pretty difficult obviously to be able to do, and it doesn't sound like anything else. BDI, and in particular Stand Up, have a very distinctive sound. How would you describe it, and what inspired you to go against the grain?
That's tough. I think we've always kind of had that unique sound, and I guess this is going back to the days of Swing City as well, and this is why Grant Nelson picked us up in the first place. we were always trying to do stuff that's different, and when before the two-step thing happened, we did a track on Swing City called The Time Bomb, and it was a very dubby kind of house track, but then we broke into a kind of offbeat halfway through. Again, it was just something that wasn't, and no one else was really. Other people were messing around with it, and we kind of took it to another level, sort of thing. And it's just something I've always liked to do. I've always been inspired by bands that do stuff that's a bit different. I've always liked the ones that really go just do a little bit off centre. And I guess that's why BDI's always been like that as well. I think that's why we've always tried to do that. And we stand up. Again, that was kind of influenced a lot by things like Superman Lovers, which was something which was, I guess. Yeah, it was something that was just a little bit different. It wasn't your normal soulful house kind of track, and so that was So that's really how Stand Up happened. It was just we wanted to do something that sounded a little bit different, just a bit different, but yeah.
Oh, what a feeling! Each and every